of the saddest things that could happen to anyone is to dedicate your whole life to defending your nation, only to return home and find yourself without a home. This, unfortunately, is the harsh reality for many Nigerian veterans who, after serving with honor, face the unimaginable struggle of homelessness. While comprehensive statistics on homelessness among Nigerian veterans are kind of scarce, you know how we can be with data in Nigeria, the issue remains a pressing concern. As one homeless individual poignantly expressed, he said, I may not have a home, but I have a voice. I have dreams, and I deserve a chance. Every Nigerian veteran still has a voice, has dreams, and deserves a chance to own their own homes. If not own their own homes, at least be able to call a reasonable place home. Today, I'll explore stories of two forgotten heroes. For their safety, of course, and their dignity, I will not be interviewing them. But I'm going to be telling you the harsh realities they had to come face to face with after they retired from the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After years of service, they came back home and found themselves without stable housing. These narratives are based on reported experiences and they represent examples of what has been happening with a whole lot of other veterans. Now, my first story is about Sergeant Musa's struggles for dignity after serving 25 years with distinction in the armed forces of Nigeria, precisely the Nigerian army. Sergeant Musa once looked forward to a peaceful retirement, like we all do anyways. However, months of delayed pension disbursements have left him without the financial means to secure proper housing. Once a respected provider for his family, Musa now finds refuge in a makeshift shelter on the outskirts of Lagos. Each day he faces the dual challenge of enduring the indignity of homelessness and the anxiety of not knowing when or if his overdue pension will ever come through. His wife and 3 children have been forced to share a cramped room in a dilapidated boarding house where basic amenities are scarce. Now, Musa's story mirrors many similar accounts, and even slumping and dying while protesting for their rights to own homes. Delays and administrative bottlenecks have pushed dedicated servicemen into poverty and homelessness. This is not right. Also, let's consider Major Chukwu's desperate search for stability. You would expect that as an officer, he should do well after retiring. He gave 2 decades of his life to safeguarding Nigeria. But upon retirement, he anticipated a secure life supported by his earned pension. Instead, he has encountered continuous delays in payments, which have left him vulnerable and homeless. He was evicted from his modest home in Abuja due to unpaid bills and pension arrears. Chukwu now roams the city of Abuja in search of a safe place to sleep each night. How degrading can that be for a major or a former major in the armed forces of Nigeria? His once promising future has been replaced by the daily struggle to find shelter, food, and dignity. Sadly, Major Chukwu recalls the honor of his military service with bittersweet pride, because it has now been overshadowed by a reality where public spaces have become his only refuge. His plight is echoed in several veteran protest movements and academic research that highlights how systemic inefficiencies in pension disbursements force veterans into desperate circumstances. Now, these 2 stories underscore a broader systemic failure. Numerous reports, including protests documented by veteran groups themselves and various academic studies like Retiring to Poverty, Veterans Protests for Non-Payment of Pensions in Nigeria, reveal that delays and arrears in pension payments have forced many a veteran into dire conditions, stripping them of the dignity they earned through years of service to their nation. These narratives call for urgent reforms, including better funding, modernized administrative systems, transparent oversight mechanisms, like I mentioned in the last episode, to ensure that no veteran is left to fend for themselves after sacrificing so much for their country. I'll close this episode by saying that our veterans have stood on the front lines for us. It is time we stand up for them. That is the least we can do. Homelessness is not a fate they deserve, and together we can make a difference if we continue to raise our voices to the right authority, reach out to local organizations, advocate for comprehensive support systems, and extend a hand to those in need. There are so many homeless veterans roaming the streets of Nigeria. Extend a hand of fellowship to them. And remember, as one individual facing homelessness once said, despite the challenges, I hold onto the hope that there are people out there who care and are willing to lend a helping hand. Let's be that helping hand. Together, we can ensure that every veteran of the armed forces of Nigeria finds not just a house, but a home. They do deserve it. We all deserve it. Thank you for watching. I am Annabelle Kemi, and you have been on the other side podcast.